6:30 a.m. The first rays of sunlight had yet to pierce through the light mist cloaking the luxurious mansion in Lavington, Nairobi. Birds chirped on the trees outside, but their songs were no match for the urgent, relentless knocking echoing from the front gate. Upstairs in the master bedroom, Kwame, CEO of global tech company Zenny, was still fast asleep on his king-sized bed, wearing nothing but a pair of gray sweatpants. He had been working with his Tokyo-based engineering team until 3 a.m. The knocking continued, each thud pounding like a drumbeat in his chest. "Mfani nini sasa? Now what?" Kwame mumbled, staggering out of bed like a bear yanked out of hibernation. He glanced at the hallway's security monitor. His eyes widened in shock. "Mungu wangu! Oh my God!" Standing at the gate, dressed in a blazing red Ankara robe with arms akimbo and hair pinned high, was none other than Mama Nia, his legendary mother, infamous for dramatic ultimatums and constant threats to drag him back to the village if he didn't get married this year. "No way, she said she'd come next week," Kwame whispered in panic. The knocking turned into a commanding shout. "Kwame! Fungwa Mlango! Open the door!" Kwame darted into the bathroom, splashed water on his face, fixed his hair, and threw on a wrinkled dress shirt. He took a deep breath and opened the door. "Mama, you're here early. What a surprise!" He forced a smile. Mama Nia swept in like a whirlwind, her eyes scanning the elegant living room. "Early? I told you, if I say next week, that surely means this week." She snapped. Kwame froze mid-step. "You skipped your women's group meeting, your prayer circle. For what?" Mama Nia leaned forward, her eyes gleaming. "To meet your fiancé." The room's air turned ice-cold, as if a breeze from Mount Kilimanjaro had swept through. Kwame swallowed hard. Mom, she just stepped out. This morning she went to the spa." Mama Nia said nothing, just sank into the sofa, crossed her legs, and folded her arms. "Fine. I'll wait. I cleared 2 weeks. No meetings, no church. Just me, and my future daughter-in-law. Ndayo Basi, that's it." Kwame bolted into his bedroom like a man possessed, locked the door, and frantically started dialing numbers. "Hello, Aking? Please, pretend to be my fiancé for 2 weeks. I'll pay. Please." "Are you insane?" Click. "Marembe. It's Kwame. Don't hang up, I just want." "Call me again and I'm calling the police." 10 calls. 10 rejections. The clock struck 7 a.m. Kwame sat on the floor, defeated. Mama Nia was in the kitchen, singing hymns in opera pitch while reorganizing his spice rack like she owned the house. Just then, the doorbell rang. Kwame jumped up as if electrocuted. He checked the monitor, eyes wide. "Tandayo." The door opened and Tandayo, a petite girl with neatly braided hair, wearing a faded white shirt and worn-out jeans, stepped in, carrying a plastic bag of cleaning supplies. "Asubuhi njema, Bwana Kwame." "Good morning, Mr. Kwame," she smiled. Kwame rushed over, pulled her back outside, and shut the door behind them in a panic. "Tandayo, help me. Please, I'm begging you." Tandayo frowned. "Were you robbed?" "Mice. A fire. Worse." Kwame gasped. "My mother. She's in there. She came to meet my fiancé. But I don't have one." Tandayo's frown deepened. "And that has what to do with me? You'll pretend to be my fiancé. Just for 2 weeks. I'll pay you $1,000. All you have to do is smile, hold my hand, and don't call me Bwana." Tandayo blinked. "Did you take the wrong pills this morning?" 1,500. I'll pay 1,500. She took a step back. "Kwame, I clean your floors. I don't do soap operas." Kwame clasped his hands like he was praying. Tandao, I'm begging you. Save me. If my mom finds out I lied, she'll drag me to the village and marry me off to someone from her over 50 prayer group. A beat of silence. Tandao sighed, looking up at the sky as if asking, "What am I doing? Just 2 weeks. Just 2. No cooking, no cleaning. Just pretend to love me. In front of my mom." She stared straight into his eyes. Serious now. "Then it's $2,000. Kwame's eyes widened. "What?" Price went up. "I'll be enduring lies, and Mama Nia's dagger eyes." Kwame muttered in defeat, then nodded. "Fine. 2,000. Save me." Tandao smirked. "Let's go, Bwana. I mean Mpenzi wangu, my love." Inside the mansion, Mama Nia was brewing tea. The sparkling kitchen now carried the scent of ginger and cinnamon. She turned as Tandao entered with Kwame. Her eyes narrowed. Kwame forced a grin. "Mama, this is my girlfriend, Tandao." A tense silence filled the air. Mama Nia set her teacup down, walked over, and unexpectedly hugged Tandao tightly. "Malaika wangu, my angel, I finally get to meet you." Tandao smiled nervously. "Asante sana, Mama. It's truly an honor to meet you." Mama Nia stepped back, eyeing Tandao's hand. "But where's the ring? A fiancé without a ring." Kwame coughed violently. Tandao responded instantly. "Oh, I forgot it this morning. Took it off last night to wash vegetables." "Ah, she cooks too." Mama Nia beamed. "Perfect. Now come sit with me for tea. Tandao, sit close to your husband." Kwame looked at Tandao. Tandao looked back. They both sat down, their hands brushing lightly under the table. Mama Nia side-eyed them, then slammed the table. "Here we go. What kind of love is that with no hand-holding? Kwame, kiss your wife on the cheek." Kwame's eyes widened. Tandao whispered, "Don't be stupid, but do it." He took a deep breath, leaned in, and gently kissed her cheek. She flinched slightly, but didn't pull away. Mama Nia clapped gleefully. "Dio! Now that's real love." The atmosphere in Kwame's living room had shifted from tense to overly affectionate, at least in Mama Nia's eyes. "Tandao, what do you call Kwame?" Mama Nia asked. "I don't want anyone in this house saying, 'Sir,' or 'this man.' You should be saying Mpenzi, Roho Yengu, Jua Langu. My love, my soul, my son." Tandao flinched slightly, glancing at Kwame. He gave a small, secret nod. "Sweetie," she said in a strangely sweet voice. "Yes, my honey bun," Kwame replied, his voice a little shaky. Mama Nia raised an eyebrow, then burst out laughing. "Aha! That's love. But something's still missing." Tandao held her breath. Kwame narrowed his eyes, suspicious. "A hug. And a kiss on the forehead. So I know this isn't some soap opera act." They looked at each other. Kwame whispered through clenched teeth. "Just do it, or she'll call a pastor and marry us off by next week." Tandao tilted her head slightly, and Kwame gently placed his hand on her shoulder and kissed her forehead. Tandao closed her eyes, unsure if it was from embarrassment or something else. But her heart skipped a beat. Mama Nia nearly exploded with joy. "That's my Kwame, my poetic, romantic son." That afternoon, Kwame and Tandao sat in the kitchen, out of Mama Nia's sight. Tandao peeled a mango while Kwame rested his chin on his hand like a student waiting for exam results. "So, how am I doing?" Tandao asked without looking up. "Too well. I'm afraid my mom might actually plan a real wedding now." Tandao smirked. "Relax. If you really want to marry me, the price goes up to $50,000. Kwame chuckled. "As pricey as Congolese gold." "You haven't even seen my fake jealous girlfriend, expression yet. What else you got? Tandao tilted her head, suddenly serious. Pretend to love someone long enough, and you might find it hard to pretend. Kwame went silent for a moment. What sounded like a joke left a strange echo in the air. That night, Mama Nia knocked on the bedroom door unexpectedly. You two. Why are you sleeping apart? Kwame panicked. I gave Tandao the bed. I'm sleeping on the couch. Absolutely not. Engaged couples don't sleep in different rooms. Kwame, get in bed. Now. Kwame and Tandao exchanged a look and replied in unison. Yes, Mama. Mama Nia stepped in, pulled the blanket over them herself, then stood back. I want grandchildren before my next birthday. Tonight. Get to work. She winked, then shut the door. Kwame lay stiff as a board. Tandao stared at the ceiling. If you scoot 1 inch closer, I swear I'll kick you out for real. Duly noted, Kwame whispered. The room fell into silence. The night lamp glowed dimly. Outside, crickets chirped, and somewhere deep in both their chests, something very real had begun to stir. The next morning, Tandao woke up with a slight ache in her back. The bed was far too soft for someone used to sleeping on thin mats. She turned over. Kwame was still asleep, his face relaxed in a rare moment, no trace of the usual CO arrogance. Tandao got up, slipped back into the same white shirt from the day before, and quietly passed through the living room. Mama Nia was sitting there, sipping ginger tea and reading her Bible. My lovely daughter-in-law, I've got a task for you and Kwame today. Tandao froze mid-step. Ma'am. Mama Nia beamed. You two are going shopping. I can't have my daughter showing up in shabby clothes for the engagement party. Tandao's eyes widened. Engagement party? Yes, this Sunday. I've already invited the whole family. 1 hour later, Kwame and Tandao stood in front of the most expensive boutique in Nairobi, where a single dress cost more than Tandao's monthly salary. Try this one. Kwame handed her a white puff-sleeve dress. Isn't this a little too much? Too much is that red rhinestone nightmare over there. This suits you. Tandao stepped into the fitting room. A few minutes later, the door creaked open. Kwame nearly lost his breath. Tandao, in the white dress, her braids neatly tied, stood there looking shy, but the sunlight streaming through the window made her look like she had stepped out of a dream. What are you staring at? She asked, frowning. Kwame answered slowly. You should wear dresses more often. Tandao blushed and turned away. Are you still acting? Kwame didn't reply. He was starting to wonder if he still was. That afternoon, as they returned home, Mama Nia spotted the luxury shopping bags. Her eyes lit up like she'd just hit the jackpot. Kwame, did you pick the ring yet? Kwame froze. Ring? What ring? Engagement ring. You haven't proposed properly but already planning a party. Kwame stammered. Right, I'll take care of it tonight. Night fell. Tandai was folding clothes back into the wardrobe when there was a knock at the door. Kwame entered, dressed in a crisp white shirt and tailored slacks. Come to the balcony with me for a minute. Tandai followed, unaware, until she saw a simple silver ring resting in a velvet box. What is this? Kwame cleared his throat. You're the only one I can trust right now. No one else would have helped me. You made me laugh, made my mom smile, and made me not want this act to end. Tandai froze. Are you being real, or still pretending? Kwame looked at her. Then, slowly, knelt on one knee. Tandai, would you be my fake wife, just a little longer, until the day you can't tell it's an act anymore? Silence. The Nairobi night breeze gently lifted Tandai's hair. She looked at the ring, then at the man in front of her. The man who once annoyed her, now left her, speechless. I'll think about it. Kwame smiled and stood up. All right. Just don't let Mama see the ring. The morning before the engagement party. Tandao sat alone on the back porch, her eyes lost in the sight of blooming flowers. Inside her, a storm of emotions swirled, caught between feelings that were slowly crossing the line of pretend, and the truth she had yet to confess. She wasn't some high society lady. She was just a housekeeper, paid to play a part. "What am I even doing?" she whispered. Kwame walked up and placed a glass of juice in front of her. "You okay?" Tandao gave a dry smile. Last night was the sweetest proposal, in a complete lie. Kwame opened his mouth to argue, but stayed silent. He knew she was right. By noon, while the two were getting dressed for another round of preparations, the doorbell rang. A stylish young woman stepped inside, Nadia, Kwame's ex-girlfriend, and Mama Nia's niece. Well, Kwame's finally getting married. But why does she look so familiar? Tandao turned away, trying to keep her composure. Nadia tilted her head. "Wait a second. Weren't you the cleaner at our office in Mombasa?" The room froze. Kwame quickly stepped in. "Nadia, why don't you come in for a drink? I'm not thirsty, but I'm starting to feel entertained. Kwame's fiancée is a housekeeper." Right then, Mama Nia walked in from the kitchen. "What's going on here?" Kwame grabbed Tandao's hand. "Nothing, Mom. Nadia just mistook her for someone else." But Mama Nia's eyes were now filled with suspicion. That night, in the bedroom, Tandao quietly packed her small bag, planning to slip away unnoticed. Kwame entered. "Where are you going?" Tandao didn't turn around. "Before things get worse, I can't keep lying to your mother. She deserves the truth." Kwame stepped closer, his voice low. "I know, but we've gone too far." Tandao turned to face him, eyes glistening. "Exactly. And I've gone too far beyond my boundaries. I didn't just pretend to love you. I started to actually feel something." A heavy silence fell. Kwame whispered, "Me too." But before they could say anything more, there was a knock at the door. Mama Nia entered, her eyes sharper than ever. "Tandao, I need to speak with you. Alone. Right now." The living room glowed with a soft amber light. Mama Nia sat upright, stern like an ancient judge, her hands resting on her knees, eyes locked on Tandao, who stood across from her, fingers nervously intertwined. "Tandao, who are you?" Tandao stayed silent for a few seconds, then took a deep breath. "Mama, I'm not a noble lady. I'm a housekeeper. I used to scrub the floors in this very house." Mama Nia closed her eyes and sighed, not in anger, but in deep disappointment. "And you lied to me, along with my son?" Tandao lowered her head. "Yes, I shouldn't have done it, but I needed the money, and Kwame needed someone to play the part." Kwame stepped forward from behind, standing beside Tandao. "It's my fault, Mama. I dragged her into this. But if you ask me now who I want to marry, for real, it's her. Not pretending. Not anymore." Tandao turned to him, stunned. Mama Nia opened her eyes, studying them both. "Tandao, why didn't you just leave that first day?" "Because I saw you as a wonderful mother. I didn't want to deceive you any longer. But with each day that passed, I found myself not wanting to leave." Mama Nia nodded, then quietly stood up and walked into her room. The door closed softly behind her. The next day, the engagement party still took place, but not in the way anyone had expected. Guests filled the garden, music floating through the air. Mama Nia appeared, composed as always, but her smile was gentler than ever before. She held the microphone, standing in front of the seated guests. "Today, I'm not here to announce an engagement. I'm here to announce something much greater." Silence fell. "I found a daughter-in-law I don't need gold or titles from. A woman with a true heart, who's taught me that love is a choice, not a strategy." She looked toward Tandao. Tandao, will you be my daughter? Tandao froze, tears welling up. She stepped forward, nodded, and embraced Mama Nia tightly. Kwame stepped up, kneeling before her, this time with no scheme behind it. No more pretending. Will you be my real wife? Tandao choked back tears and nodded. I've been waiting to hear those words for the past 2 weeks. Thunderous applause erupted. The Nairobi wind whipped through their clothes, but no one cared, because their hearts were burning with the truth. A few months later, in the same mansion where everything began, Tandai was no longer a housekeeper. She now led a charity project funded by Kwame's family, supporting young girls from underprivileged backgrounds. And every morning, Kwame still kissed his wife on the forehead, but this time, there were no lies behind it. If you've journeyed through every emotion with Kwame and Tandai, from pretending to believing, from confusion to joy, don't forget to share this story and help spread a message about sincerity and love beyond boundaries. Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and hit follow to never miss a future story, where every word carries the warmth of quiet, hopeful hearts. Sometimes, love doesn't have to start with the truth, but it must always end with honesty. Don't forget like and subscribe to follow their next chapter.